The last time you decided what to eat was probably within the past few hours, and it took you less than a minute. You did not hunt it, grow it, or even walk more than a few steps to get it. You opened an app, tapped a screen, and within half an hour, food appeared at your door. This is normal to you. It was impossible to every human who came before you. For 95% of human history, eating was the central occupation of every waking hour. Not because people loved food too much, but because getting enough of it was the hardest problem they would ever solve. Every decision, every migration, every tool, every innovation can be traced back to the same basic question. Where is the next meal coming from? To understand what ancient people ate, you first have to accept something uncomfortable. They did not eat meals. They ate whatever would not kill them whenever they could find it. Let us start at the very beginning. The first human ancestors, the Australopithecines who lived 4 million years ago in Africa, had a diet that would make a modern nutritionist weep. They ate fruit, leaves, seeds, nuts, tubers, roots, bark, insects, and the occasional dead animal they scavenged from a predator's kill. There was no menu. There was no meal plan. There was only what the landscape offered that day, and you took it. Dental microwear analysis tells us that Australopithecus chewed through tough plant material for hours every day. Their teeth are worn flat from years of grinding fibrous vegetation. They had powerful jaw muscles and thick enamel to handle hard foods like nuts and seeds. But they were not specialized for any single food type, and that was their genius. A specialist eats one thing well, but starves when that thing disappears. A generalist eats anything and survives everything. We are descended from generalists. About 2.5 million years ago, the first stone tools appear in the archaeological record. These were not weapons. They were food processors. Sharp flakes of stone let early humans slice through animal hide and muscle, accessing meat that their teeth alone could not handle. Meat changed everything. It is more calorie-dense than any plant food. It provides complete proteins, essential fats, and vitamins that are hard to get from vegetation alone. And it comes in a package that you can share. The real revolution came with fire. The earliest solid evidence of controlled fire dates to about 800,000 years ago. But it may be much older. When Homo erectus learned to control fire, they gained the ability to cook. And cooking is arguably the single most important dietary innovation in human history. Cooked food releases more energy per bite. Heat breaks down starches, denatures proteins, and softens collagen. It predigests food before it enters your stomach. This freed up energy that could be redirected to the brain. The human brain consumes 20% of your calories despite being only 2% of your body weight. A raw food diet cannot support a brain that size. Cooking made us smart. By 400,000 years ago, Neanderthals were thriving across Europe and Western Asia. Their diet was heavy on meat. Stable isotope analysis shows they were top-level carnivores, hunting bison, horse, reindeer, and mammoth. But they also ate plants. Starch grains found in Neanderthal dental plaque show that they cooked barley and legumes. A 2022 study confirmed that Neanderthals processed significant amounts of plant foods. They were not simple meat eaters. They were sophisticated omnivores who adapted to whatever their environment provided. When Homo sapiens appeared around 300,000 years ago, their diet looked similar to the Neanderthals. They hunted, gathered, and cooked. But they did something the Neanderthals apparently did not do at the same scale. They built trade networks. Archaeologists have found obsidian tools hundreds of miles from their geological source, seashells far inland, and pigments traded across vast distances. These people shared information about food. When one group discovered a reliable food source, that knowledge spread. The Hadza people of Tanzania One of the last remaining hunter-gatherer groups consume over 800 different species of plants and animals in a single year. They spend 3 to 5 hours a day getting food. The rest of their day is free, spent resting, socializing, and making tools. They do not eat 3 meals a day. They eat when food is available, sometimes feasting after a successful hunt, sometimes fasting when food is scarce. This feast and famine cycle is what your body evolved for. Your genes remember it. Your metabolism expects it. But you never do it. Then, about 10,000 years ago, everything changed. Humans in several parts of the world independently began farming. The Neolithic revolution transformed the human diet almost overnight in evolutionary terms, and the results were not pretty. The first farmers were shorter, sicker, and died younger than the hunter-gatherers who came before them. Their skeletons tell a gruesome story. More cavities, signs of anemia, deformed spines from bending in the fields. Infant mortality skyrocketed. At Catalhoyuk in modern-day Turkey, one of the earliest known farming settlements, analysis of hundreds of skeletons reveals a population suffering from chronic malnutrition. Children have growth disruption markers on their teeth. Adults have collapsed vertebrae and rampant arthritis. Why did their health collapse? Because their diet collapsed. Hunter-gatherers ate 100 species a year. Farmers ate 1 or 2. Wheat and barley in the Middle East, rice in China, corn in Mesoamerica. That was it, day after day, year after year. A diet of wheat porridge for breakfast, bread for lunch, and bread for dinner does not provide the range of nutrients a human body needs. No fresh greens meant scurvy. No animal fat and sunlight meant rickets. No variety meant deficiencies across the board. But farming had one killer advantage. You could fit hundreds of people on the same land that previously supported one hunter-gatherer. Quantity beat quality. The agricultural population exploded, displaced the hunter-gatherers, and spread across the globe. The worst diet in human history became the dominant one. By the Middle Ages, European peasants had settled into a dietary pattern that lasted 1,000 years. A bowl of pottage, water boiled with grain and vegetables for every meal, dark rye bread, ale instead of water because the water would kill you, meat once a week if you were lucky. By age 40, your teeth were ground down to the roots. Your bones were brittle from vitamin D deficiency. You had night blindness. You consumed 4,000 calories a day of hard physical labor and had nothing to show for it except survival. Then sugar arrived. In 1700, the average English person ate 4 pounds of sugar per year. Today, the average American eats 152 pounds. Your hunter-gatherer ancestors got a few teaspoons a day from fruit and honey, only when those things were in season. You get more sugar in a single can of soda than most of your ancestors got in an entire month. Here is the uncomfortable truth. Your body is a 300,000-year-old machine running on fuel it was never designed for. It evolved in a world where food was scarce, sweet things were rare, and every calorie had to be earned through effort. You live in a world where food is abundant, sweet things are everywhere, and calories require no effort at all. Every craving you have, every fat cell you cannot shed, every blood sugar spike and crash is your ancient biology, screaming at a modern world that does not speak its language. Your ancestors did not have food anxiety. They had food certainty. If they found food, they ate. If they did not, they starved. There was no organic versus conventional, no low-carb versus low-fat, no keto versus Mediterranean. There was only food or no food. The modern food landscape is so far beyond what your brain evolved to process that it is a miracle anyone makes it through the day without breaking down. Think about that the next time you stand in front of a full refrigerator and complain there's nothing to eat. You have more food in your kitchen right now than a hunter-gatherer would see in a decade. Your ancestors walked 15 miles barefoot through dangerous territory for a meal that might not be there when they arrived. You walk 15 feet to a cupboard that has more variety than an entire prehistoric ecosystem. You have solved the problem of food so completely that you have forgotten it was ever a problem. But your body has not forgotten. Your body still hunts. Your body still stores. Your body still craves. Your body still runs on software written 300,000 years ago in a world that no longer exists. And that is not a bug. It is the inheritance of every human who ever lived, every hunter who returned empty-handed, every gatherer who found a patch of berries, every farmer who survived a failed harvest, every peasant who made it through another winter. Your body is their body. Your hunger is their hunger. For 300,000 years, your ancestors woke up every morning and walked into the unknown, looking for something to eat. Sometimes they found it. Sometimes they did not. But they kept walking. And you are the result of that story, sitting in a kitchen that has everything, carrying a body that remembers nothing.